Well, hello there. My name is Dave Bila. I want to welcome you to this new edition of News and Views broadcast by Access LaPorte County on Public Access TV Channel 99. We are a weekly public opinion program addressing local, state, national topics and issues of interest to the Michigan City and surrounding areas. Opinions are the views and the responsibilities of those making the views and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views of this program or its co-producers. We will adhere to broadcast rules, but absolutely no one's First Amendment rights. Notice I didn't beat the table, Andy. No one's First Amendment rights, freedom of speech, or freedom of the press will be either muzzled nor denied. Any unauthorized use of the accounts, descriptions, and events of this program without the express written consent of Larry Curly or Schmo is strictly prohibited. We hope you enjoy the program, the discussion, and the participants. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got an important announcement to make.
Public service announcement.
Public service announcement. Coming on August the 8th, there is it's not an executive session, but it's a workshop. The mayor is calling a workshop that will affect all of the residents of Michigan City. I hope that place is flooded. And the topic of discussion, now listen to this, take notes on this. Listen to this, it's going to affect everybody who drives. Everyone who drives has tires on their car that have effect on the bearing of the roads.
Trailers?
Huh?
Trailers?
Oh yeah, trailers too. And the mayor in her priority list on the 8th of August is going to discuss a wheel tax for all of you viewers out there who drive or who pull a trailer and this wheel tax is going to affect everybody. And you know, it's going to raise tax dollars. Monumental tax dollars might even exceed $1,000. You know, there's another issue going on about public broadcasting. They're rolling up the carpet. PBS is now going by the wayside. They'll be totally closed within a year. The way I see it, it's an opportunity for shows like this to magnify itself, because public broadcasting is a verbal convenience to the public to inform the public what's going on. Hey, maybe what you might not know, next time you watch the show, you might not see Larry Curly or Schmo, you might see the Muppets. Tony?
Well, public broadcasting cannot accept advertising money, but they can accept donations. So I don't know why public broadcasting hasn't moved their shows, because they're not getting money from the government, to accept donations or things from money from other people that might want to donate and produce a show, because they can't accept donations for advertising. But isn't it a donation if a foundation gives money to the public broadcast? You see them after the shows, right? They do a show and they say so-and-so foundation is giving money, and these people gave money, and this company gave money. Well, is that the differentiation between advertising and donations? So couldn't public advertising keep on with money for donations to keep the show going?
Well, you see, the public broadcasting system has been on the trough ever since it was established, I believe, in 1967. Living off there, they get $500 million a year to run their broadcasting corporation.
And we got to go back to your wheel tax.
Oh.
The wheel tax.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how much it brings in. I think LaPorte City's had this for years. I think it brings in $300,000. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone wants to email me.
That's a lot of money.
I think the city, it wasn't as much as they thought. I think the city maybe $700,000. But okay, the wheel tax, and Bob's going to like this. Us Democrats like this. The wheel tax was forced upon everybody in Indiana by the Republican legislature. They said if you don't enact the wheel tax, you do not get some of the money for pavement and community crossings grant money. The share, 50-50 that we get, which is pretty cool. But if you don't do a wheel tax, you don't get some of that money. So the mayor and the council and the county council all have to do a wheel tax, or they don't get the money. Now the wheel tax, I don't remember what the numbers are, like $5 a car or $30 a car. My guess, heard it here first, the council and the mayor, probably the mayor, will ask for a wheel tax, the minimum amount.
$1.
No, I think it's a minimum. Is it $1? I think it's maybe $5. There's a minimum amount, and once they ask for that minimum amount, then they can apply for the community crossings asphalt. If they don't get it. What people are, the misnomer I understand is people are saying if you don't have a wheel tax, you don't get any of the CCMG asphalt money. I don't think that's true. I think there's two pots of money. One you still get, one you get as an incentive. I guess that's the incentive, to charge a fee to your citizens for a wheel tax.
Well, isn't there something on the books that is a proposed venture someplace in town that will generate a few $1 million?
Isn't there an $800 million or $1 billion facility?
You know something about
we've
that?
been doing this for 2 weeks now.
Going on 3.
3 weeks, and now it's 3. And I haven't seen it in News Dispatch.
Yes, it was.
While you guys are thinking about this,
it wasn't
let me jump ahead to the schedule for our boat show, which is the biggest single thing in Michigan City every year. So we need to talk about when they will have the boat race.
What does it bring in? Revenue.
Yes, a lot of revenue. But not only does it bring it in for the city, it also brings it in for a lot of private institutions,
and what's happening
restaurants. Let me talk about
what's happening in the neighborhoods with the parking? Your neighborhood.
Yeah,
we got a problem.
Got a sign up, but we're going to talk about that. But let me talk about the shows. First of all, tomorrow, which is Saturday, August the 2nd.
Well, they'll see this on Saturday.
The 4A's. We'll be having a car show. It starts at approximately 8:30, but normally the guys get there about 9:30. It's going to end at 3 o'clock, but frankly, probably they start to end at about 1:30, 2 o'clock. There will be, assuming that it goes the same as it has in prior years, about 75 to 100 cars. They will be very nice cars that probably in some cases will go back 100 years. So if you like to look at old cars, you like to see how they were made, you're going to find a lot of them are going to be made in the good old USA.
Yeah.
So as a result of that, if you'd like to go to that car show, again, opens at 8:30, probably 9:30 is a good time to get there. About 75 to 100 cars, and it'll end about 3 o'clock.
Where's it at?
Washington Park.
It says at the entrance.
Yeah, it's the entrance.
So you could park probably by City Hall and walk over.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about the parking situation. Now, the races tomorrow. The first race, and there's 6 different classes that will go off tomorrow, but those races are scheduled to start about 1 o'clock. Hold that back, about 12:30. So if the races start at 12:30, you can figure they're going to be going pretty strong by about 1 o'clock, and they will go to 4 p.m. There's 6 classes, but those are the smaller classes. On Sunday, there are 6 classes, the big boats. They start about 11 o'clock, and they're scheduled to be over at 4:30. So if you want to see these races, and they are fabulous with the types of boats they have in them, it's a great show. They will also have a boat parade Saturday tomorrow from 6 to 8 p.m. on Franklin Street. Now, go ahead. What was your question?
The parking.
Yes, very expensive if you go to Washington Park. However, there are setups that if you come in on some of the highways, you will find that they have parking place, and in some cases they're not charging. I'm also told that Blue Chip will offer parking.
And a shuttle.
And they will have shuttles to take you into Washington Park. So if you can make use of these, I strongly advise that you would do that. You're going to save enough money that you can buy a couple of snow cones and a few hot dogs when you get to Washington.
Maybe one hot dog. Maybe I didn't see it. I saw Blue Chip has parking and a shuttle, and they used to have parking at the outlet mall.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of parking around Franklin and Wabash and Washington and around
I think
City
there's
Hall.
also going to be some at the old Marquette Mall.
In the old Marquette Mall. So there's places to go because it gets expensive. And we all knew this was going to happen because this is a topic we didn't start with today, but parking. Parking in your neighborhood has gotten to be a problem, and I don't know how to discuss it, but people that live down there, Stop 2, Sheridan Beach, rightly or wrongly think they own the parking on the street, and they don't. And this happens in Michigan City and every city. But people have been parking in places that aren't acceptable and blocking things and doing stupid things, so there's trouble.
Yes, but part of that is where people who come from the outside trying to save the parking fees inside are parking in front of these people's houses. So as a result of that, this is a mixed situation. The police department has signs up, temporary no parking. because the city would like to see you park in one of their expensive parking places. The Parks and Recreation Department needs the money, so don't just blame the people that live there,
Yeah.
because all they're trying to do is save themselves. It's also people that come in and try to save the parking fees. I don't know where Tony comes from, but he might be one of those people.
Well, it's expensive, so yeah, you get a pass, but it's a problem that got created because I think they raised the price, and I don't have a problem with raising the price for out-of-towners to park in Washington Park, but we have to deal with the bleed over into the neighborhoods that should never have to deal with that kind of parking problems. Because people need to park their home, by their homes, so they can go to work and live in their homes, but you can't be calling a tow truck. I can't believe any private tow truck would tow somebody off of a public street knowing that they're probably going to get sued too, because when you do that, you are asking for some liability upon yourself. And some of these people that come from Illinois or out of state have a lot of money, and you don't want to get tied up in court because you did something that was just illegal.
Well, you'd have to check with your attorney on this one. I'm not sure, when the police department puts up a sign that says no parking. Now, it says temporary, but it says no parking. So as a result of that, if somebody calls the tow truck, you definitely should go through the police department.
Yeah, call the police department.
Yes.
Don't call the tow truck.
But I don't know the exact legalities of that one, because the police department is saying not to park there. The people that live there can just pull up into their private driveway or put it on their private
anyone
lot.
blocking driveways, that cannot be allowed. You can't block. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
But
Again, I got to be a Budinsky. We've got individuals out there in our viewing audience waiting for us to talk about most important things going on in Michigan City, and you two guys are talking about parking?
Well,
Isn't there something more important?
This is a huge.
The wheel tax?
That's huge. The wheel tax is minor in relation to the parking.
well, the wheel
problem.
tax is just a start.
No, you know something I don't know?
We're going to have an income tax,
Oh, that as well?
another
We
tax.
already have that.
No, we're going to raise that up to meet the money that we lost.
Which is why we need to get this data center in here.
Yeah.
Well,
There we go.
You know something
I
you don't
knew
know?
somebody would give me a segue.
I've been trying for the last
And how much
15
is that
minutes,
gonna
for crying
bring
out
us?
loud.
Well, they're telling us, well, it depends on how you want to look at it. If you look at it just from the city standpoint, we could be looking at $1 million.
$26 million to the city, $100,000 to the sanitary district, $1 million to Economic Development Corporation, $5.5 million and $500,000 for the next 39 years, plus property taxes of $926,000 a year for the first 10 years, and $1.5 million a year after that.
No, that's just peanuts, guys. So the
wheel tax.
Wheel tax is important. That is on the mayor's priority list. August the 8th, everybody
No,
get down there and
that's not
protest.
our priority. Our priority is jobs.
Oh, what do you know? You know something I don't know?
Jobs. How many jobs do you get with
From the wheel tax?
No. Oh yeah, from the wheel tax, you get less jobs, right? And how many jobs do you get from the data center? They say 20 or 30.
Only 30.
How many jobs will you get from the apartments? Whatever.
The ancillary,
condos
yeah.
That we're developing. What? 2? Mow the lawn and
Construction
You've
jobs.
already jumped again. If you want to talk about jobs,
We don't want to hear about schools. We want to hear about this deficit that the city is in.
construction, hold on.
61% of the residents of Michigan City live at or are below the poverty level. And we're talking about a wheel
trying to do
tax?
something about that if you give us a chance.
Let's go to jobs.
500 to 800 construction jobs over.
Temporary jobs.
Well, they're temporary over 2 to 3 years.
And they don't live in the city anyways.
Yeah. Who cares? Yeah, who cares? Wheel tax is more
We need
important.
them to live in the city. Yes, we do. But
Yes.
most of them don't live in the city anyways.
Well, anyway.
Those aren't permanent jobs.
500 to 800 construction jobs. Quite a few of them will probably wind up with people, if they don't live in the city, at least live in the Michigan City area schools area. And that's another big factor in this that the city is not talking about, and neither is the Herald Dispatch. But if there's one entity that I would have to pick out that badly needs dollars right now, it's the Michigan City Area Schools Corporation. They will be raising a significant amount of money without having to raise the tax rate.
Yep.
Just on the amount of property tax
Yep.
that this facility will be paying, which will then give them the opportunity to put in programs to go with the students who are below the poverty level and are not able to do the work at the 12th grade level when they graduate. In fact, some of these people are only at 8th or 9th grade when they're graduating to 12th grade. This has got to cease because it's these kinds of high-paying jobs that are in the latest kinds of infrastructure that will be the high-paying jobs. Now we're talking about things like data centers, artificial intelligence, and this type of thing. This is Michigan City's entree into that area. When you get one of these, you're going to get more. Some of it will go to LaPorte, some of it will go to LaPorte County, but we also would get more. And just one little announcement. For those of you who follow the financial situations throughout the country, a major corporation by the name of Microsoft actually has 470 of these data centers spread throughout the United States.
But Microsoft's announcement this week in revenue indicated that it wasn't as much as they thought, but that's fine. So the article says, and you're right, the Herald Dispatch.
Yeah.
I don't think they discovered this at all.
Before you respond, though, this...
You're going to talk about the wheel tax again?
No. Oh, well, you want to talk about it? I'll be glad to.
Just vote it down.
This information that was published in the newspaper. Okay, there was a workshop on the 24th of a workshop where these individuals came and discussed all of these issues that you have in front of you and I have in front of me.
And that was not in the Herald Dispatch. This was Northwest Indiana Times.
Well, they're a day late and a dollar short because this information was brought out on the 26th.
Their headline banner says "Day late and a dollar short." Go ahead.
That's the website. No, it's not.
The situation was the city council or the mayor or somebody called a workshop.
Yep, city council.
And the 3 representatives from Phoenix attended.
I watched it.
Phoenix
and you saw
tell the crowd
right.
Phoenix is a developer.
Phoenix
It's a developer out of Milwaukee,
And
Wisconsin.
I watched it, and you could watch it on Elko, and you told me to watch it, and I watched it, and it didn't seem like a city council workshop. It seemed like a something for the developers to tell us what they're doing.
Well,
and pretty much we're doing it, and it's approved in the zoning, and go away. We're doing it.
But the fact of the matter is, and I'm not trying to dispute what you've got, but this information was put out on the 26th. Okay?
Northwest Indiana Times.
No, to the residents of the city of Michigan City.
Yeah.
It was put out to the
at the workshop.
At the workshop.
Yep.
And so these people, Northwest Indiana Times and whomever, are again a day late and a dollar short, because if you see what Elko is doing and if you see what Drew White is doing, he's keeping the public abreast. The situation that I'm worried about is, do a lot of people actually watch Elko and become aware of what's actually going on?
Well, you can go on YouTube.
Huh?
I watched it on YouTube.
Yeah, well, that as well.
And you're right, it wasn't a general workshop about data centers. It was a specific workshop about Phoenix investments and income.
And how the city will benefit to the tune of a windfall of $26.1 million. Now, would you turn your back on 26.1?
No. And Bob's right. I don't think the Herald Dispatch said about it, but they said 800 construction jobs, 30 permanent jobs, and 48% of the property taxes the city will get because we get
the first year. The first year.
So that's $500,000, and the police, the fire, and the school will get part of that.
And the sanitary district gets money?
Yes.
I mean, there are so many
They didn't talk about how much extra they're going to pay the sanitaries or the water department.
Oh, they did?
For the
No,
millions
they did.
No, the cost.
No,
How much revenue they're going to
yeah,
get.
he's talking about revenue. They talked about the cost to separate the sanitary and the
No, but they didn't
storm
say how much revenue they're going to get to supply them all this water. It's an enormous amount. So I know it's 30 jobs, but that's why I was laughing before. How many jobs are going to get out of residential? 30?
It's 30 high-paying jobs.
Very high-paying tech jobs.
Now, when you talk about the maintenance people in this type of a facility, maintenance, and they said maintenance is separate from this, they will also be what we would dub in this area high-paying jobs. They have to because of the kinds of high-tech that they're involved with here. In addition to that, they will need other people at that facility to do work because of the the upper echelon getting paid so high, you're going to find that these facility jobs where you're just out taking care of the lawn, taking care of the shrubbery, keeping the place clean, they're going to be pretty high paying also.
Well, you'll get
in relation to the salaries available in LaPorte
You'll
County.
get those jobs in some of the residential, what we talked about. Do we want manufacturing and technology, or do we want residential? Because it seems like we were focused, and kudos to Clarence Halls for getting this done.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's taken a lot of beating from the administration pushback when he gives you.
He just earned his 11 years.
Yeah, for $800 million and millions of dollars a year. Good job, Clarence, because this is what we need. This is 30 high-tech jobs, and you said an entrance into the arena that we need for our people, compared to which we need some housing. But what's housing going to give you? Some landscaping? Well, they're going to have landscaping
Time out.
here.
Once we get these jobs in here, those jobs out on Paz Road, remember they started out with the sign $299,000 and up. Now the sign says $300,000 and over. These people will take those types of houses.
And I don't know. I don't have any inside information. I don't have.
Dave, I understand his wife would like to buy one of those houses, and we're encouraging him because the city needs the money.
I don't have a non-disclosure.
What's for wheel tax?
No. And I understand that in the county, I believe, in LaPorte County, there is a major housing builder in America that's going to ask for 600 homes. So
Where at?
I don't know. I just know that there's somebody looking, and I believe they looked in Porter County, but LaPorte County, their administration is not friendly, and that's being very nice. And I think they moved to LaPorte County because LaPorte County and LaPorte City are very friendly. They get back with you. They call you back. They don't beat you over the head with the rules. They just want you to build and get things going. So there's maybe 600 homes, but this right here, this data center, kudos. Good job.
Yeah.
Well, in that News Dispatch article, it was brought to my attention.
You mean the Herald Dispatch?
The what?
We don't have the News Dispatch.
Where are they located?
On Franklin.
Do we have one?
Yeah.
Oh.
They have 4 employees.
Well, the fact is, the fact of the matter, that article, wherever it came from, quoted already a dissenter. Do you know there is a dissenter other than the mayor on the city council who is opposed to this project?
Really?
The 6th Ward city councilwoman is opposed to it.
Now, I want to go back to this project.
Oh, okay.
This project. To get a project, in any project, your house, whatever it is, you have to get a building permit. And in the building permit, you go to the joint zoning ordinance, which is available online in Michigan City, and you read what you can or can't do. It's defined, so every developer knows what they can or can't do. I watched the meeting like you told me to, and those developers said they are zoned, they're industrial zone, that's why they bought it. And they said, if I recall correctly, they said that this parcel is zoned and approved for this use.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying last week, if you see me on the phone, I'm trying to do something. I was trying to figure out the chart of uses. You can go to LaPorte, Michigan City, any community, and you can download the uses in the zone. This is the chart of uses for M1 and M2. And it tells you it's permitted, special exception, or not permitted. And I told you before in past shows that Michigan City would have been wise, knowing that they came to them at least last year in July, to change their uses in their joint zoning ordinance to reflect data centers. Now, I don't know what they said. Phoenix Investor said that they meet all the requirements, they could do this in the zone. I pulled down their uses, I gave you copies. I couldn't find data center in the chart of uses. So, like I said last week, if there's not in the chart of uses, you have to, the planner and the building commissioner have to pick the next closest use to give them a permit. And all I could find in here is telephone exchange building. I don't know, maybe that's a close use because we don't have telephones no more. Now we have internet, and this is all about internet data. I don't know. Utility substations. The thing they talked about, you didn't tell me, in the meeting, they showed a layout of their site. Mm-hmm. And they had the existing building, and they added on that building, and they raised that building. Then they had a whole nother building called the data center. Then they had a whole nother substation from NIPSCO on their site. Well, a substation is a permitted use by definition in industrial zoning. The only other one I could find was a general use of zoning, permitted use, not special exception, for really any kind of manufacturing. So the difference here is you have a permitted use. So if you do A, B, and C, you get a permit. No questions asked. If you have a special exception, you have to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals, and you tell them what the special exceptions are, and I believe by law you have to approve it. People can remonstrate against it. They can ask for other special exceptions or conditions. The Board of Zoning Appeals can ask for more conditions. So I would presume, because this came up in LaPorte County, they had people wanted to build battery storage facilities. So they had all these buildings with batteries in them. They store battery power either from a solar system or power from the electrical grid online. Then they sell it back at night when it's more expensive and more needed. And that's all it does. Take power, hold it, and sell it back at night. That's all they do. But they're very dangerous facilities, because if they catch fire, you don't put them out, and they're in the little huts. So if one catches fire, they don't all catch fire. So they had to pick a use, because LaPorte County didn't have a use in the zoning code for a battery storage facility. And then they had made it special exception and made them go to the Board of Zoning Appeals to make sure they got everything they could about the battery storage facilities. I suspect Michigan City will do the same. They will pick a use that has an S, a special exception, and they will go to the Board of Zoning Appeals, and they will have conditions upon their data center, but they still have to approve it. So you can't, and I thought the workshop was to talk about data centers. It was specifically about Phoenix investors, not general data centers.
And it laid out their proposal to the city of Michigan City.
Yep.
And it laid out, and it basically, again, it says that the city will have a $26.1 million windfall. Initially, a $25 million check will be sent directly to the city. Oh, no, data center. Oh, no, what was that?
There's not enough return on investment.
No, on $25 million?
Nah.
No, is this aiding and abetting the concerns, including the job creation in the city of Michigan City, or the lack of it? Could there be any rationale behind that thinking?
I think they were negotiated in the media, and I think she got more than she was initially offered.
Well, that all may be true, but she did send out a press release stating to the contrary.
Well, it's really a lack of financial understanding that this possibly could get turned down. If we have that in our society here in Michigan City, and I think we do.
We've had it for 45 years.
Well, that would be a real problem, because this solves an awful lot of financial problems, not only in the city, but probably even more important in the school system. Because the school system does not have the kind of money they need to work with these kids that are below the level that they should be at for their grade. They do not have the money to put in specialized types of high-tech types of systems. This is the kind that will draw that kind of money. Let me finish. Now, the great part about this, everybody can think about the money, and that's a real positive. But the other side of this is that school system will get this large amount of money, but there's only a small number of people that are associated with this, so they don't have to hire any more teachers. They don't have to hire any more administrators. They don't have to build any more buildings. So the cost factor to do this on the side of the school city is very minimal. And therefore, they can develop, they can use all that money they're getting for these types of programs that they are not available to do now. This will also be a positive for Ivy Tech and the A.K. Smith Center. There are so many positives in this that you just can't believe it. But that's what happens when you start to use artificial intelligence, when you start to develop data centers, and you start to understand what we have to do economically to keep up with the way the world is going.
Well, I'm going to make a statement. Again, Kevin McGuire made a presentation to the Redevelopment Commission. And basically, to summarize, the Redevelopment Commission, under the advisement of one individual, continued McGuire's response. That one individual who prevented it from going through happened to be Clarence Holtz. He questioned the amount of dollars that the Redevelopment Commission has in its coffers, and he questioned whether McGuire's $1.2 million issue is really relevant. He made a statement. He tabled it, temporarily tabled it. He took it under advisement. But he was the individual. He was the impetus behind preventing Kevin McGuire's project from going forward.
And why would he do that?
Why would he do that?
Because he knew we were going to get $1 million.
Huh? See?
The school, and Bob's saying, what Bob's saying we talked about, cost of community services. If you have a residence or a business, there's cost of services. You get money, but you have to pay money to service them. This is a very low cost of services. Yeah. So the school and the city get a double whammy.
Low cost to the school.
They get a double win here. This is 2 wins. They're not going to require this building's going to be sprinkled. You're not going to have the police showing up here. They're going to have security. It's all fenced off. You're going to get the money, but you don't really have to give them any service. This is such a win. So maybe Clarence Holtz knew that the money coming from here, Kevin McGuire is going to get it somewhere else, so let's table this until we see that the city accepts the data center and gives you more money.
Now, this for those of you who maybe just new on the block and just happen to flip us on or flip us off one way or the other, to give you an idea, the acreage is 67 acres of the 6th Ward. Okay? It encompasses 67 acres of the 6th Ward. The 6th Ward basically has the largest land mass in the city of Michigan City. But population-wise, it's conducive to the other 5 wards. You try to make the wards equal. So the residents of the community who reside in the 6th Ward maybe might live a little bit here in a little house and here in a little house, and
the density is very
dense, very low
density.
Certain individuals got up and at this meeting who had a Mickey Mouse embroidered Mickey Mouse insignia on her white sweatshirt, and she was opposed to it. And some of the comments that I gleaned from the news, what are they calling them? News. The newspaper around here?
Northwest Indiana Times? Herald Argus?
Herald Dispatch. That's printed up in Michigan.
Herald Dispatch.
Herald, some of the comments that were made by the 6th Ward City Councilman mimicked this little young lady with the white Mickey Mouse t-shirt on as far as health problems and this problem and social problems and disease and famine and gloom and doom.
My God, we've got the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Go right ahead.
The 6th Ward councilman, if I read it correctly, or if I glean it correctly, is opposed to this entity entering into this densely populated area because it's going to have some bearing on health problems and so on. I'm just saying, money speaks. Millions of dollars. Dollars speak.
Tens of millions.
Well, I've thought about that, and I was just going to put this out for the residents of that neighborhood. Keep in mind that this is an old industrial facility. Now, they talk about Anco and Federal Mogul. This actually goes back before that. This facility was built for Royal Metal. And Royal Metal went bankrupt. First of all, they moved into that.
It was a brownfield site.
Yeah, it was a brownfield site.
Somebody's cleaning it up.
Whoa. Now, if they're concerned about the situation right now in their neighborhood, if you build that, just take a look at some of the old industrial buildings in Michigan City and what they're doing to their neighborhoods. I would start with the Burnham Glove Factory over in the old 3rd Ward.
Nice building. Yeah. Nice building.
Yeah, for nice building for 1920.
Cool building. Cool
when it wasn't air conditioned. Okay,
cool.
That is an eyesore right now.
Yeah.
The old Portis Hat facility, which at one time we made all kinds of hats in there. And then President Kennedy came along and he didn't wear a hat, and so the hat business went way down and they went bankrupt. Now, yes, they have used it. They store cars, they store boats, and that type of thing in there, but it is nowhere near something that you would like to have in your neighborhood. Take a look at another one, the Illinois Tool Works. ITW on US 12, and I think the other street right by it is Liberty Road. That was a very nice industrial facility 50 years ago. Now it is being beaten up, and they do have storage in there. How many of these industrial facilities are going to wind up with nothing but storage, being an eyesore in the neighborhood? They are taking an old industrial building that was built for a corporation by the name of Royal Metal, you can get that started, and they are converting it. It will be a much nicer facility than the way this building was originally put up and the way it's been deteriorated. Thank you.
What about the Excelsior Bicycle Company? It's vacant land right now on Chicago Street.
Yeah, but it's
And across the street where Bernie's Auto used to be. I mean, there's a lot of sites that have been demolished, but yet the remediation of the ground underneath these sites could possibly bring.
Well, yeah, but just getting them torn down was a real positive. I'm talking about ones that are still there in a real eyesore.
I got you. I'm just adding to what you're saying.
Go all the way down Kentucky Street. All the way down Kentucky
All the way down,
Street.
right?
Yeah.
Building after building after
So
building.
when you stand up and petition about something like this, you've also got to start to think about what will this look like if it doesn't happen in the next 15 or 20 years. That's all I've
Or
got.
what are your options? Your options are probably some more high density residential apartments, which the cost of services is very high in between the police and the fire and EMS and the school system. The return on that is actually a negative. So we have a positive return here.
And the deterioration level over 10 years is very small.
Very.
This is what I was looking for. My eyes were floating all over the green screen over there. The developer proposes paying $26.1 million to the city, including $100,000 for sanitary improvements and $1 million to the Economic Development Corporation of Michigan City to support economic development. The sanitary district is getting million here,
Over
million
and
there.
above.
Over and above.
Their sewer and water rate.
So everybody is going to benefit from this, and if we propose this minimum amount on the wheel tax, or just you say the government is mandating us?
If we don't do the wheel tax, I believe we lose maybe 50% of our asphalt money, which really drives me crazy. So we pay the state, the Indianapolis, we pay money down the state with our tax revenue. Then they graciously give us money back for our asphalt if we match it. Why are we paying the Ivory Palace millions of dollars and then have them graciously give us half the money back? And now the Ivory Palace in Indianapolis says, well, if you don't pass a wheel tax, you're going to lose some of that money we were graciously giving you. Oh, thank you very much.
Well, based on transparency, don't you think that the mayor should make
She should tell us how much we're gonna lose.
She should tell us how much we're going to lose, and tell the council to vote for the minimum amount, because we've got this possible windfall.
It's not possible. It's going to happen.
Really?
The problem right now and you could drive down Franklin, you could drive down Michigan Boulevard. Those are our two main streets. And you have to look at the size, the length, and the width of those streets. Those two streets are going to need more in asphalt revenue than we spend, even half of one of those streets is more in revenue we spend on paving all the other streets in town. So if we want to fix Franklin and Michigan Boulevard, which back in the day, and this still happens today, we're trying to do it in LaPorte County, LaPorte City, INDOT, again, graciously says, we'll give you Michigan Boulevard, and we'll give you Franklin Street, because those used to be state roads. And we'll even give you these millions of dollars if you now maintain and own it. And they say, well, if you own it, then you can do your own permitting and whatever, your own administration on it, so you don't have to deal with us. But we're really getting snookered because they don't want to pay to repave it. And now Michigan City's stuck with paving Michigan Boulevard and Franklin Street, which again, I think half of one of those streets takes all our asphalt paving for the whole year. So 4 years, if at best, we won't have any paving in any street in Michigan City until Franklin and Michigan Boulevard are done. And that's what the mayor's stuck with, and every mayor is stuck with that, because we made this great deal in the past to take these two roads from INDOT, and INDOT is laughing all the way back at Indianapolis because we were foolish enough to take it. If they didn't, they would have to pave it.
I'm just saying, here,
You should tell us what those costs are.
Yeah, Phoenix investors estimate the property that generated $22,000 a year in property taxes, it will be increased to $926,000 a year the first decade, and then $1.5 million a year thereafter. The city would collect about 48% of that property taxes, which would ultimately grow by 68 times. There's a potential windfall.
Yes, but the 26 million, I think, would be enough to pay Michigan Boulevard and Franklin, and probably have some money left over. But the other, I think we're stuck with the wheel tax because thanks to the legislature and the governor, we got it. But they also have passed the ability to raise our income tax, and they don't have to because we have a windfall. So they could say, the mayor and the council could get together and have a workshop and say, we're stuck with the wheel tax because of these costs and the laws of the governor and the state legislature.
I'm just saying.
But we're not going to raise your income tax because we got this money.
Make it transparent to the people. That's our political leaders. That's what they should discuss, rather than keeping things behind the scenes and making erroneous press releases.
And then they could run for state rep or state senator and go down to Indianapolis and tell them, I don't know why we have 90-some counties in Indiana.
92.
92 counties in Indiana. And somehow, the few counties, or the one county in Indianapolis, controls the rest of us. We send our money down there. Stop letting Indianapolis tell us what to do. The other, I don't care what party they are, should say no. We're not letting Indianapolis take our money. We're going to give the money back. We're not forcing them to a wheel tax. We're not going to force them with the income tax. We are going to lower the property tax. Maybe we should just raise up the sales tax, and guess who's going to pay the most? Oh, Indianapolis. Let them pay the most. I don't know why the Ivory Palace keeps dictating to us out here in the other 90 counties why we should graciously accept the money back for them and thank them for it. It's our money in the first place.
Look at the tax revenue that's generated from the steel mills that go down, to Indianapolis. And how much do we get in return? Very little.
And now they're going, here we're going to segue to another one.
The property tax on the steel mills, most of it winds up going into Lake County. It's the income tax where Indianapolis makes its money. The state income tax.
Yep.
The problem right now with the steel mills is they're not very profitable. Indianapolis has a large number of big corporations which are very profitable that pay a lot because of the income tax. Cummins Engine, now it's Cummins, let's see, it used to be Cummins Engine. Now it's Cummins because they make big type machinery also along with large engines, but not the aeronautical type engines. They're out of Columbus. If you look at how Indianapolis is circled, it's really well done.
Circled.
Yes, by very large institutions. Most of them are colleges and universities. You put Indianapolis in a center. You've got Purdue University, West Lafayette, 40, 50 miles north of there. If you swing to the right in Terre Haute, you've got Indiana State University, which, by the way, one of our more unusual situations was way back when Michigan City had the opportunity to have Indiana State University, which now has about 25,000 students. They had a choice between the prison and Indiana State. They took Indiana State. Talk about thinking ahead.
Snookered again.
Now you go south of there and you've got Indiana University. You swing over to the east of there, you're sitting with Stellantis Corporation, you're sitting with Subaru, You're sitting with some very large companies, and again, I left out Eli Lilly in downtown Indianapolis. They hold a lot of sway and a lot of thought processes over the governor's office in the state legislature, because they are very profitable and they are very good institutions. We have got to start to compete by drawing those kinds of facilities.
I've said this numerous times in the past that Michigan City has to take a new attitude. This is a unique opportunity for Michigan
And
City
it's a
to take a
great
new
start.
It's a great, fantastic start, and take these blinders off that have been on for the last 45 years and face reality. Face that is $26.1 million a drop in a bucket.
Well, let me also say, when you start knocking,
It's only half our
when
one-year
you
budget.
start knocking the legislature and the governor, understand that.
Oh, I knocked the legislators.
Hi there.
Whoa, wait a minute. Understand that in this particular economic situations, it's my understanding that the State of Indiana Economic Development Commission, over a period of something like 30 to 35 years, is picking up $30 million that the city will not have to pick up. $30 million.
On this, it's 40. I thought it was 40 million on this project.
Well, I saw a report that said.
Okay, well, again,
They're graciously going to give us $40 million of our money back.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, it's a diamond. Look at it. Wheel tax.
It's better than nothing, I guess.
Wheel tax compared to 30
Because if you look at the
million.
history of all of America, but especially Indiana, Michigan City and all Northwest Indiana was making hay in the sunshine because we had Lake Michigan. Indiana's capital was originally on the Ohio River.
Right.
That's where all the commerce was. And in Indianapolis, all they have is the White River. So Indianapolis is the center of the state, and they put the state capital there. Everything has gravitated there, and we cannot seem to get away from it. Michigan City and the Ohio River need to start taking their own in all of Northwest Indiana, because we have the ability and we have the transportation and all the infrastructure and all the natural resources right here we need. Right now, Indianapolis is dying for water. Literally, they want to steal water from the Wabash River because they ran out of water. They don't have what we have.
That's why.
and Ohio State
That's why
has.
these facilities.
That's why they're coming here.
Yes. But now I've got another thought for you. Now the state of Michigan has somewhat the same problem in the Upper Peninsula.
Mm-hmm.
But the Upper Peninsula had a solution for that. They bought a house for the governor in the summertime.
Traverse City.
No, it's in the peninsula. They have one in the Upper
I
Peninsula.
thought she goes to Traverse City.
Oh, okay. But the one in the Upper Peninsula, the governor can go up there anytime that he or she wants. Some governors have spent quite a bit of time up there. Maybe here in Northwest Indiana, we ought to think about doing the same thing. We could do that here on Lake Michigan, or we could bring it up to a state park, like the Indiana Dunes State Park.
Maybe you let them stay at the Barker
Or the
Mansion.
Barker Mansion. You got to start thinking out of the box and using your head. If you get them accustomed to coming up here and seeing the facilities,
You're right.
we might turn
You're
some
right.
heads on that.
You're right. Just like just like data centers, the segue and the entry into the whole arena. We can't just stay up here and say we want things. We got to bring them up here and introduce them to us.
Right.
And maybe the government
Absolutely.
needs to spend some time up here in the summer and understand how great not just Northwest Indiana is, but how Michigan City is. We've got one of the last beautiful beaches left.
Now, I did watch the governor of Indiana on one of the financial programs. He was on for about 10 or 15 minutes. He talked about these data centers and AI and quantum computing, and talking about he's big on this and getting it in. But in addition to that, he also mentioned, I think this came through Eli Lilly, the biomet and the biological situations. That's Northeast Indiana, Fort Wayne, Warsaw, and Napanee. That is totally being forgot about right now. And if we start to get these data centers and artificial intelligence, you're going to find that that's going to play a big role in the biomedical field.
Yeah, AI and data centers. And AI is something we're going to have to reckon with in the next 10 or 15 years, whether
We've
we
got
like
to
it or
train
not.
students to do this. There is no doubt about it.
AI can do some very good things. AI can do some very bad things. And the bad things are going to be very bad. But here we are in Michigan City. We can have an $800 million data center with millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars and millions of dollars every year. Our school district needs it. They don't require any more students.
Yeah.
They won't require any more police or fire protection. They won't require any more EMS. The last thing I want to touch upon, we don't have enough time, we got 10 minutes, is Palisades, north of Cook Nuclear Facility, has the approval now to turn on. And they're in the midst of, you don't just flip a switch and turn a nuclear facility on or off. It takes months and years. So they have approval now through the federal government to turn on. People are remonstrating against it and trying to get rid of their permit to turn on. And we are going to need all of that power and then some.
Yes.
So it is an old plant. It's a new company taking over. Hopefully they do a better job. They have a permit. I don't think what they're asking for is going to stop them. But that plant is getting ready to go. And if you look at your DIFSCO bill coming up, you're probably going to not be happy for last month. And this is a way to reduce that cost. I think at least by half.
Yeah, well, there's also a facility in Indiana, Marble Hill, and I'm not sure who owns Marble Hill, but the governor was talking about redoing that one and bringing it up also.
Yes.
I'm not quite sure.
Every nuclear facility in the United States is being turned back on. Right or wrong, but again, look at your NIPSCO bills coming out.
We're going to have the energy.
These places, as I said before, and I did talk to some IT people last week, that each rack, each NVIDIA rack in one of these data centers is 4 to 5 times the usage of one house. And there are tens of thousands of racks in each one of the facilities. Now, the last thing I found out this last week was a lot of construction people are in a quandary, and even Wraith Riley is having trouble getting their pavement because all the stone that we need for pavement is being taken up by Amazon and the battery plant. I mean, they are using every bit of stone that every quarry from here to Indianapolis to the state line back east.
There's a lot of quarries south of Indianapolis.
They're taking a lot of stone, and we are seeing a problem here because you're seeing some, I think it was Hobart or Maryville had their road milled, and they couldn't get the pavement because they didn't have the stone. So it's a good and a bad thing.
Well, back in my era, we utilized the slag from the mills as an aggregate.
They were talking about using slag again, and slag is...
Just be careful. They also use fly ash, and we don't want to do that.
Yeah, the slag, it's a good solid form, but it has a lot of contaminants in it, and it doesn't seem to hold up in the winter like good quarry limestone.
But I believe slag was used as a sub-base.
Yes.
And so maybe
It
what
has some contaminants in it, so...
So maybe what they're using now for a sub-base could be utilized as an aggregate to the cement
Now,
procedure.
here's another area where we're probably going to need AI in a little bit, artificial intelligence. Our mining operations have been significantly cut back, regardless of what type of metal or what type of quarry, rock, whatever you're talking about. And what we did, we went overseas to get it. Shut down these mines. So we were in accordance with the EPA requirements. We just didn't have any mines. And then we went overseas to get it. Well, now those people overseas have been charging us like crazy. They're making money on it. And we're having to go back and open these mines. And we're going to have to figure out how we do that and do it in accordance with our environmental requirements.
Well, we closed them down because they were very bad for humans.
Well, yeah.
Mining is horrible for humans, whether it be coal, platinum, copper, or whatever. Copper is way, way down right now. It's
Well,
insane.
it was really the EPA requirements
So,
that they couldn't meet.
but now we put robots in.
Yeah,
Robots don't care. They'll dig and dig and dig. And if a mine collapses, no one's getting killed. We go down there, we'll dig. The robot might dig himself out because they don't stop.
or we just cover up the hole and go to the next one.
Because robots, or we could dig the robot out. It might take 6 months. Well, we'll get to the robot, and it'll just be there waiting.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think whether it worked out or not, I think it worked out in our best interest that we didn't kill our population with mining in a very bad sort of way and kill people and hurt them and make them sick. And now we still have the valuable metals that we can go back and get when technology lets us do that. And I think technology is real close, that we'll have robots digging that stuff out and bringing it up to the surface. And the other countries have wasted all their minerals.
Well, copper and other types of metals like that have to be, copper and aluminum have to be right at the top of the agenda. We have got to get those metals back here, plus the rare earth
Copper just
metals.
plummeted like 30% in the last 2 weeks.
Well, once we
Just
start,
really plummeted.
once we start to put these nuclear facilities up, it's going to go back up again.
But I think we'll start digging our own copper, our own platinum, our own gold. We have a lot of minerals in America.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, the issue at hand, ladies and gentlemen, is the viability of the future of Michigan City. For the next 40 years, we have an opportunity to lay the groundwork for a bigger, better community.
More efficient.
More efficient. And starting with, again, this one Sixth Ward Council, City Council person was quoted that she's in opposition to it. I don't think she's realized all of the pluses and the minuses and all of the potential that this $26.1 million windfall will create here in
in a
town.
city of our size with 28,000 people, maybe, not counting the prison, it's huge.
It's huge.
I think we are going to win, and we need to grab this right now because technology moves very fast, it gets very efficient, and it increases its ability to compute. And at some point, we will need less of these data centers, but for right now, we need them, so let's grab them. And when they reduce, oh well, we had our money.
And there's a vermin, there is a vermin waiting in the weeds to take advantage of this opportunity if Michigan City turns it down, turns its back on this. And you know who the vermin is?
It's KIP, the Kingsbury Industrial
No, it's
Park.
the mayor of the city of LaPorte.
Well,
The mayor would bend over backwards for
He
this
sure would.
opportunity.
He's already getting one.
Yeah.
They would like to get that.
Right.
They already got one.
Yeah.
In their building.
That's
They wanna
correct. He's
put
just
the-
waiting. He's just waiting in the weeds.
They want to put this one in the Kingsbury Industrial
And
Park.
I know personally that I work with some developers and in the Thomas Rose Industrial Park in LaPorte, it's ready. It's already there. It's even got a high tension power line. They could move right in and the developers would build this in a heartbeat. We're lucky Phoenix Investors is taking the risk
Well,
with
they
us.
potentially do have one problem, water availability, because they have to get their water from wells, as I recall.
They got
And I
plenty
don't
of
know
water.
the size of the aquifer below us.
They can
but
dig
we
more
get it
wells,
right
they'll be
out of Lake
fine.
Michigan.
We're getting down to the last 2 minutes. Last night I attended the next to the last Michigan City Municipal Band concert.
It's almost over.
It was extremely difficult to get into the band shell area because of all of the boat traffic and everyone else. But I marched to my own drummer and I went through a back door and it said exit, and it was an exit route that I traveled into. But I got to where I wanted to go. I saw this Mr. Diaz playing his euphonium. Really looks spiffy out there. He's got more medals, and he's got whatever you call them on his shoulders. And I mean, he even sat into the band concert, and he played his euphonium with the LaPorte Municipal Band. And what an honor that was to see this Marine standing there entertaining us in Michigan City. This final concert, the 10th final concert of the 157th season, will be held Thursday, August the 7th. That's a day before the wheel tax. Oh, wow. Well, I won't be, and the wheel tax subject will come up on a Friday. I'll be able to make that. At August the 7th at the Bicentennial Amphitheater in Washington Park, the council will feature a variety of music, including compositions from Cole Porter, Hoagie Carmichael, John Philip Sousa, and guest artists will be Anne Marie Bice, and with a special conductor, her name is Julie Plant. Again, we're getting down to 1 minute. Gentlemen, close real quick.
Have a safe summer, watch out for the undertow, and enjoy the boat show.
Yes, and enjoy the rest of the time this summer. Michigan City is a fabulous place to be in the summertime.
$26 million are sitting at our doorstep. Are we going to take the broom and sweep it to the side and let somebody else take advantage of it?
My public service announcement, Michigan Boulevard and Hendrick Street, the light only stays green for 10 seconds. Could someone in the city fix it?
Same thing with the dual track system on 11th Street going north on Franklin. Again, one of the green lights is out. I want to thank everybody for watching. Oh, I want to thank everybody for watching. Your input as to improvements or criticism of this program is greatly appreciated. Please contact Show's co-producers Bob Pollock, Dave Vila, or Tony Hendricks with your comments. You can email Bob at skrpollock@gmail.com, Dave at djvila1@hotmail.com, or Tony at emailagm@yahoo.com. Or you may direct ideas for any future shows to our one and only staff writer, Sarah Bellum. Showing of our program will be Saturday morning at 10 a.m., also Monday and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m., and numerous times on Channel 99. Also, you can see us, if you miss all of that, you can punch in Navigate News and Views for our YouTube channel. I want to thank everybody for watching, and make it a good day.